Hey guys, welcome to another episode, and today we have a motherboard, as you can see, laptop motherboard, and well, just motherboard. It came also with two RAM sticks, which I removed already, two 16GB sticks, so 32GB together, so quite nice. And the board is from the MSI Katana 17 model. I don't remember the exact model, actually I don't know it. I searched some online, but it's B13 or B12 or something like this. But yeah, I don't know the exact model, doesn't matter right now. It's supposed to have Intel i7, Core i7 13620H, so 10 cores and 16 threads, so quite a nice powerful CPU, and RTX 4070, so again quite a powerful combo, I would say, and you know, quite a nice motherboard in terms of the specs. What's wrong with it? Well, I don't know. I was told that it got some small liquid damage and it went to the official MSI repair center, where they haven't repaired it, they just replaced the motherboard and some other stuff, like I think keyboard or something, pretty much everything they could, and they charged almost the price of the new laptop, so not great, I would say, for the person who sent it. But well, I have the motherboard here and let's see what we can do. I mean, if they replace the motherboard, I would expect probably something important to be damaged, so either the CPU or the GPU, so at least I will have one of those as a donor. I mean, chances that both are dead is not very big, I would say. That's not, unless I'm super unlucky, but I would say either both are okay, because maybe it's really a small liquid damage and maybe both are okay. So yeah, let's do some measurements and see what we can do. By the way, the board looks, I would say it looks very standard and clean, like all the I just had a look and all the components are quite obvious, I would say, so you don't have to wonder what those components are, you just see what's going on the motherboard. Okay, turning multimeter on, black probe on the ground, and let's see what we got here. So, as I said, it looks fairly standard, like all the components are where you expect them to be. So, starting with the charging port, well, there is no charging port and I don't have the power supply either for this laptop, and there is no even charging port here, because this here connects to like a cable with a charging port at the end of it, so I ordered that already from AliExpress and with a power supply on the 11th of November sale, so it was quite cheap. Let's see, but that's basically the charging port, we could say, and here we have the two input MOSFETs, and I already checked, I think this is the current sense resistor for so like the main power rail is here. Okay, so let's start with the main power rail then. Let's see, do we have a short? No, we don't. 1 mega ohm, something around that, so that's good. And looks like no MOSFETs or DRMOSes on the either CPU or GPU are shorted, so that's always good news. Then we have some small coil over here. With this one, I don't really know what it is. Let's check the resistance. I said it's obvious. Well, this one maybe is not that obvious, but it's very high, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, since we are at it, let's check the resistance to ground just to calibrate a little bit. 0.35. So let's now check, because I expect those to be the GPU coils, and this is quite obvious, as I said. And we have 1.25, so 0.9 of an ohm. Looks decent for RTX 4070. I would say it's probably good. It's not even close to a short, so that's right there, a win, I would say. Okay, and I suppose this is the memory coil, I mean VRAM coil. So the memory for the GPU, and we have 46 ohms, 47, perfect. So this looks okay. Then we have two coils here. I would expect 3.3 volts. It is not because it says 3R3. I'm just guessing 3 volts, 5 volts. Let's check. We'll find out later if it's correct. It doesn't matter really. Right now, we'll find out anyway. And we have what? 10K. I would say it's fine. And here we have again hundreds of kilo ohms, probably perfectly fine. Any other coils here? No, I don't see anything. There is a BIOS chip right here. Let's check the leg number 8. And okay, hundreds of kilo ohms, looking very good. Oh, there is one coil here as well, not sure. That may be the RAM coil. We have 1 kilo ohm. I should have the RAM sticks somewhere here. Do I? Yeah, I have one. Not sure where I put the other one. Oh no, oh, it's actually here, sorry. I removed just one, okay. Let's remove the RAM chip and see now. .2 still. If I put it back in place. Okay. Or it's the same, so most likely this is not RAM, but I would say it is. Anyway, it's not shorted, so it's probably fine. And then we check this. So here's some small coil, which again I'm not sure what it is. 1K. Hard to say. Doesn't look like PEX for the GPU because it's too high. So I'm not sure what that is really. And there is something here like this ceramic. Also not shorted, okay. And here we have a BIOS chip, probably for the GPU. Where's pin number 1? Here. So that's pin number 8. And we have 1K as well. Okay, so it looks like this. Those are connected, so this is probably 1.8 volt, I'm guessing. Okay, that's fine. By the way, so if this is the BIOS chip, it measured what? Hundreds of kilo ohms and 3.3 supposedly. This is 3.3 unless it's 5 volts. No, it measures differently. This one. Okay, are those connected? No. Okay. Just checking. Okay, so we are left with the CPU coils now. So let's check. This one is different, so it says R22. Those are R15, so maybe those are the same. Although I would expect the PCH as well, and the CPU and the integrated GPU here. I mean, I'm not sure which one is which, but 3 types of 3 different resistances in general. So let's check with this one. and we have 146 ohms. Maybe this is memory. If I remove the RAM stick now. No, or it's the same, so it's not memory most likely. And I didn't expect it to be, but I mean, based on the resistance, just I thought so. Then this one. $25 ohms, that's surprisingly high. Is this one the same? Or just not measuring? Yeah, 25. 25, that's surprisingly high for a CPU. I mean, I'm not an expert on Intel, as I said many times. Doing Intel, so probably I should be. No, but I'm not. And I don't have much experience with this series of the CPUs, so I don't know what it should be, but I mean, to me it's perfectly fine. And then this one is different, it's 15 ohms, and this one? 15 ohms as well, so those cores are probably together, those are together, and this one is separate. Okay, so as it is, I don't see any issue with it whatsoever, so I think it's safe to power on the board. Yeah, but let me have a visual inspection, since it was mentioned that there was a liquid damage. There's something here, but I think it looks like a thermal paste, I would say. So I don't see anything wrong here. Oh, and then there's a keyboard controller EC chip here. Oh, but here's the model of the motherboard, and I see a stain here again. I think that's the thermal paste. But here, this doesn't look like a thermal paste because it doesn't clean when I remove it with a finger. Let's try to rip it off, remove this, and so we have some signs of liquid damage here. Let's remove it completely. On this side, here it's clean, so I don't think so, but let's remove it a bit. I don't see anything here. I would inspect under the microscope, but I see something here, and I think something here as well. Let me zoom in as much as I can, get the focus. Not sure if you can see anything here, but let's see under the microscope. Those two areas here, like for sure there's a stain here and like something. Let's see under the microscope, and there's I think some corrosion here. I don't see anything else right here. Oh, here it looks clean. On this side I don't see anything here. It looks very clean, and the board in general looks clean, like no dust, and then like brand new, I would say, unless some thermal paste stains, but other than that it looks perfectly like brand new. Okay, so what I will do, I think I'll give it a go, see what it does. We can power it on. I have already checked that those two pins on this side are the positive 20 volts. So what I will do, I will just put the probe from the bench power supply here and try to power it on with 20 volts. And we'll see what voltages do we get. Does it start? Does it give a picture? And we can also monitor under the thermal camera and see what it does. Okay, so as you can see, I have everything connected here. I have a ground probe clipped here to the ground plane on the motherboard. And I have the ground probe for the multimeter already here in the board, so that I can operate more easily. And now we have the power supply with, let's put it here actually already. and I'll just put the other side into the power supply. And we have 20 volts, and let's see what happens. So we have some power draw, and now we have like 0.4 of an amp, and as you can see the GPU is getting warm, and the memory coil, the VRAM coil. Let's quickly check if we have voltages. So here we have, do we have voltage on the VRAM? No voltage. Okay, that's weird because it seems to be working. It disconnected. Okay, so again we have some power draw, and now we have 0.4, and we have what? We have switch on. Okay, now we have 1.25 on the core, 0.75 probably on all of the coils, so it's the same. Here this one is 3.3 as expected, and this one is 5 volts. So we have all the voltages. BIOS chip, we have something. No, okay, it's trying to start again. We have 3.3, and on the BIOS chip here we have 1.8. So we have almost all the voltages. Here 1.8 as expected. Here 1.7. Wow. So it's trying to start. 1.8. Oh, sorry, it disappeared. Again, power draw went down. It's trying to start again, so let's check. Nothing. But the GPU is getting slightly warm. Oh, now we don't have any power. I need to hold the power supply, I think. Okay, let's check again. Okay, we have some voltage, 1.8 volt. That's great. Here, nothing on the CPU. And those coils here, whatever that is, SOC or... Okay, so the GPU is getting slightly warm, as you can see, but the CPU is not. Okay, so looks like the CPU is not starting, but we have some voltage here. So this 1.8 here on this one coil, so that's promising, but we don't have voltage here. Okay. All right. Disconnecting the power. Okay, and we are under the microscope on the back of the board where I've seen the signs of the liquid damage, and I have already recorded that take before, but I lost the focus on the video, so recording it again. So as you can see, I scraped off some like hardened liquid or stain here, something, I mean, that's something that looks like Coke or something, and there is basically liquid stain like around this chip here, this area, all this area. So I don't know, but possibly this resistor or maybe this chip over here got affected by the liquid damage, and the other one was a little bit further away. So like here, let me grab the focus again. And this side. Okay, so let me rotate the board a little bit. Okay, so we see the whole area and get some focus. Okay, so as you can see, there is something, not sure if it's rust or maybe it's again just liquid, because if I scrape it, it's actually shiny, so it doesn't look corroded, to be honest, so maybe it's even okay. And the same with this resistor over here. So if we get the focus, probably I can just brush it, clean it, and see if it looks any better. So let me do that. Okay, so we are under the microscope. I cleaned the liquid damage, and we are around the MP2960R phase controller, and here are our, well, supposedly corroded or just liquid damaged components. Okay, let me get some focus. So I cleaned this one, and as I said, this one looks okay. I can scrape off the if there's something dirty on it still, but I mean, this looks healthy. There's shiny solder here, so I'm not too worried. But I measured the resistors around here, and like here, look, I measured this one. It measures 1K. Measure this one. Oh, sorry, it's not that easy, but let me get it like this. My probe just slides, but it's 1K. I measured this one. It measures 133K exactly. I measured this one. It's 5 ohms. But then, so probably 4.7 plus the probes. But then I tried to measure this one, and it measures 2 mega ohms. Last time I measured it, it measured like 3 point something mega ohms. Every time I measure it, I get a different reading, or I don't get the reading at all. Okay, now it's consistent for some reason. Let's try again. Okay, now it's consistent. Okay, I don't know, let's measure the other one. And now this one. Now we have, okay, 2 point something. So it seems, okay, now it seems consistent. But anyway, this seems very high, unusual for a resistor, I would say. So what I will do, I will remove this resistor and measure it off circuits, see what measurement I get, and also I will measure the resistances and the voltages on this side and this side. I would expect some signal to come this way and probably have some voltage on this path here. So maybe there's no voltage going in through here to the chip, so maybe there's something wrong with this chip because of this high resistance. I don't know. This seems unnatural, so okay, now it's consistent for some reason. Anyway, it's high. I will remove it. Okay, so let me supply the power 20 volts to the board. Do we have it? Okay, we have it. I'm holding it now. And let's measure the pad. And we should have, oh sorry, no voltage still. Now, okay, now we should have a voltage. Let's measure now. And as you can see, we have 19.8 of a volt. Okay, I'm disconnecting. And so
this voltage probably comes from the main power rail, and well, it's probably not the voltage we want to go directly to this chip. So as you can see here, we had one resistor which we removed, and we have another one here plus a capacitor, and this is most likely a voltage divider. So now we need to figure out what resistor should be there. The one that we removed, was the 2 mega ohms correct value, or should it be something else? And let me show you how I tried to figure it out. First of all, I tried to find the datasheet for MP2960R because it is the chip from Monolithic Power, that's the manufacturer, but there is none. I couldn't find any, but I found this chip, MP2965. So again, similarly named chip, and so I opened the the datasheet for this one. And what I found is the pinout. I don't know if it's the same or not, but it is similar chip, so it's QFN48, as you can see here. So yeah, and our pin is this one. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, our pin is this one. So based on this, assuming this chip has the same pinout, which I mean, I'm just guessing it may or may not have. This is enable one pin. This is enable one pin, and if we scroll a little bit down, we can see that there should be VDD33. So the power to the chip should be 3.3 volt, and pins enable 1 and enable 2 should be around 1 volt. And just to go back here, enable 1 is our pin, enable 2 is next to it, and VDD33 is this pin here. So we should see 3.3 volt here, and we should see around 1 volt on those two pins, or at least on this one, because this one is interesting for us. So, but yeah, as I said, I don't know whether this chip is the same. So I tried to I searched for other motherboards or devices with exactly the same chip, and I found that actually I have a board which is MSI Z790 Pro. Mm, and I physically checked it. It has this chip, and well, I removed the heatsink. I measured those two resistors because it has the same resistors and capacitors as our board. Uh, but well, since this is the voltage divider, it measures differently from what it really is in the circuit. So I would need to remove the resistor, and I could have done this, but I didn't want to touch the board because I'm planning to fix it at some point. I don't want to, remove the components and put it back, solder anything there. I want it to look brand new. Doesn't matter. So what I then did, I tried to search for a board view for that motherboard, and it's not exactly this one. As you can see, this one is MSI Pro Z790, so an 8, that's the same, but my version is Pro, I think, and this is Max. Anyway, the layout is slightly different because on my board the chip is here on the side of the phases, but on this board view it's here. But most important thing, it's our chip. It's MP2960R, and our pin is actually here. It's pin 46 in this corner, and so we have the capacitor, as you could see, exactly as on our board, and then we have one resistor, which in our case measured 133 kilo ohms, and exactly this we have this. So now the third one should be 2 mega ohms. So actually what we measured on our on our resistor is correct. So we need 2 mega ohm resistor, but not corroded. I'll show you our resistor and why we don't want to use it anymore. Okay, so we have our resistor. We can measure it again, if we can measure it actually. So let me do like this, hold it here, and see, it's difficult to get a measurement. Okay, it's exactly 2 mega ohms. So in fact it is still working properly. However, if we now flip it, so we have, that's the corroded side here. So we have the metal plate here, but look, on this side, if we flip it like this, you can see there is metal on this side, on the side, and so like at the top, on the side, and the bottom. And here we have something at the top, but nothing on the side, and almost nothing at the bottom. So like here, if I go again, we should be able to measure it, but or maybe not. Yeah, it's super difficult, so I don't know if it's gonna be working or not in the circuit. Right now I cannot measure it even. So yeah, that's why we need a new one. Okay, and what I haven't shown you before is what voltage we should actually get. I mean, we saw that on this one volt on the datasheet for the other chip. So let's do like this: 9.8. That was our voltage that we measured on one side. Then resistance of the first resistor, and this one will be in mega ohms. We want 2 mega ohms. And the second one should be in kilo ohms and should be 133 kilo ohms. And let's calculate the output, and you see we have 1.2 volts, so close to 1 volt. I guess is acceptable for the chip, I hope. So looks about right, and I think that's what we wanted to achieve. So with that, let's solder the correct new resistor and see if the board works.
Okay, big moment. So here's our lovely setup. I have the motherboard. I bought a screen cable and the screen actually. And here I have the power supply connector, and that's the power socket for the motherboard. So let me power it on. Let me plug it in. No bullshit, you can see it here. And let's see what happens. Oh, I'm sure you appreciate my fancy cooling as well. Okay, so far it's cold. This one is cold. This one is, I think it's getting slightly warm, if I were to be honest. Okay, I think it's getting slightly warmer. Oh, and we have a picture, guys. That's amazing. Do we have a BIOS screen? Logo again. And we have the BIOS. Amazing. Okay, and even mouse is working. Okay, that's regular. Almost like a desktop BIOS, I would say. Okay, so looks like we have a fix.
Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this repair. And since you made it till the end of the video, I'm pretty sure it's worth smashing that subscribe button.